Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is Colin Drew. There a sneak peek at next week, episode number 602, for comics originally releasing December the 1st and December the 2nd. Drew, we are into the final month of all that has been encompassing of the year 2020. But before Drew and I get into what's coming up in your local comic book shops this coming week, Drew, do we have anything from our listeners or anything else in the world of comics?
Yeah, we're not going to do any feedback this time. I forgot to even look.
Okay.
So we will definitely do that next week. Sorry about that, guys. But we do have a Hot 10, and we can go jump right into that from our good friends over at CBSI, Comic Book Invest.
So we're going to head over to comicbookinvest.com. We are looking at the Hot 10 books for November the 27th, 2020. And Drew, we're going to start right at the beginning at Dr. Aphra, number 6, the Jen Bartel 1 in 25 variant.
Yeah. I would never have bought a 1 in 25 mid-series Dr. Aphra.
Yeah.
That's just a regular. I mean, it's a decent cover, but what's special about this?
$160 to $180. It's a great cover, hot character, hot artist. Still, nobody saw this coming. Star Wars stuff is absolutely insane right now. When is the ceiling and when will we hit it?
Is it all Mandalorian that's driving everybody to go crazy for Star Wars again?
I think that, and we've checked off so many characters from our big two as far as movie verses with all the Marvel stuff and everything, that we're just looking for the next thing.
Yeah.
And we're finding it more in Star Wars.
Yeah. So
and Turtles.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched Mandalorian yet, I won't spoil it here, but when was the first Thrawn?
Yeah. We have to look out for that one.
Yeah, there, so. I don't know when that first appearance of Thrawn was. That back in the original Marvel days?
No.
Yeah,
he's going to be dark. I think he's got some Dark Horse books, and I think that's where you're going to find his first stuff.
But all that Dark Horse stuff is not legit, right? They've wiped all that away.
Tell that to the people searching for that first appearance of Ahsoka on that Dark Horse.
Oh yeah, that was in the Adventures, right? Star Wars Adventures.
100%.
Yeah, and that
Clone Wars, baby.
That was a Dark Horse book.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I guess it is. I guess it is legit.
I mean, it's still a first appearance.
So, but those Knights of the Old Republic or whatever, those series at Dark Horse, they don't count, right? Is that right?
I mean, the market will tell what counts and doesn't count.
Yeah. And why would you ignore something that exists?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just because the publisher said it doesn't count.
Yeah, and the way we comic book people are, we'll take a opportunity to collect two different things as the first Marvel canonical and the first non-Marvel canonical, and blah, 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 blah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Because people be crazy. But anyways, Dr. A for number 6, 1 in 25. Might still be out there somewhere. At rank 2, Marvel Spotlight number 9 from 1980. Steve Ditko, the artist on this. Classic case of the fear of missing out here. A little FOMO. It appears $10 to $25 last week, is now selling for, wait for it, $175 for a raw copy. This is based solely on the character of Mr. E showing up in Symbiote Spider-Man last week. Keep in mind this character appeared once, and only once in the past 40 years. I know it's 2020 and nothing makes sense, but what?
Yeah. Jesus. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a heck of a jump, man. These are laying around because nobody cared about it before today. Marvel Action Chillers number 2, the Sweeney Boo 1 in 10 variant. $30 to $40. Just a word of advice, I would probably be picking up any cheap Elsa Bloodstone variant that is out there. This is just a taste of how quickly harder to find books of hers can pop up. Elsa Bloodstone.
Star Wars Heir to the Empire from Dark Horse is the first appearance of Admiral Thrawn.
Ah, there you go. That one will pop. Go get it now.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, hurry up.
All right, Drew, as if not to confuse you anymore on DC Future State, we have DC Future State #1, the local comic shop day, 1 per store variant. Going for $50. Cool little preview book of all the characters popping up in DC. I can't tell for sure if this is going to be a good or a bad thing. So now, Drew, we have a quarter version, a free version, and a
$50 book. That's crazy.
All right, at rank 5, we have Champions #1, the second print from here in 2020. $25 to $30. Like Elsa Bloodstone above, it would recommend Kamala Khan variants as well. This one has the second print, which is supposedly a low print run. That's the thing that's going for it.
God, we looked at this, remember? And we're
Yep.
Jesus.
All right, at rank 6, here we go with Brute Force #1. Mentioned on the Marvel 616 show as a possible animated project, this first appearance of a bunch of genetically altered animals is seeing movement from cover price to $20 or more. Hit your back issue bins quickly. Thanks to some guy for the heads up on this one. I have this one, I'm sure I do.
Oh,
It's got
yeah.
a mecha dolphin on the front of it. Wow, Brute Force #1. Yeah, I know I got a few of those.
Yeah. Maybe, unless you've used them to pack as packing material.
There you go. At rank 7, a girl walks home alone at night #1, the 1 in 5 variant. Up from 20 to 25, now 30 to 35.
Look what's next.
Oh, yeah, and there we go at rank 8. Star Wars Heir to the Empire #1. This one keeps popping up. Theories are flying around about Thrawn showing up in Mandalorian. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Raw near mint copies are now hitting $175, about the same price as the graded 9.6 that was selling last week. Is The Mandalorian the most influential TV show on comic books, surpassing The Walking Dead?
No.
Nope.
It's #2.
Man. At rank 9, we have Go-Go Power Rangers #8, the Natasha Busto 1 in 25 variant. First appearance of Ranger Slayer. All covers are both hard to find and selling well. This one doubles in price this week from 25 to 50. Be on the lookout for any of these. Do you recognize the homage on that one?
Oh, no.
That's Ferris Bueller's Day Off, isn't it?
Oh, yep.
That's
You're
what
right.
I always think of when I see
Yeah, good call.
that. At rank 10, Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Defenders of the Lost Temple. Remember a couple weeks ago when we mentioned this one because a 7.5 copy sold for $350? Well, a 9.2 copy sold this week for $750, along the very low grade Raw for $250. I can't remember if it's stated this before, but I can't believe this is the lone Bo-Katan appearance in classic comic form. Oh, that's cool. Some of our honorable mentions, we have Star Wars Insider #195. Star Wars is a different animal anyways. This was only selling for between $5 and $10, but is creeping up in the $15 to $20 range. Try finding the variant with the child in his pod. So this is a magazine,
Yeah.
but it's got the child on the front, who we now have a name for and
Yeah,
everything now.
yeah.
So
And I still call him Baby Yoda.
as will a lot of people, I think. And another tchotchke fun honorable mention, Fantastic Comics #6. Old Samson isn't messing around here with his ball and chain, literally. Another weird bondage cover that sold in a 2.5 grade this week for $1,800. $400 more than the 4.0 that sold last year.
Wow. Bondage covers, man.
Bondage
Who knew?
covers.
Who knew?
I think some people knew.
I think a lot of people do. What's our good friend Eric have on the FOC this week?
All right, of course, the FOC is our final order cutoff, Drew, and I love to claw through it and see the things that we either forgot to order because we didn't do a previews order altogether, or we missed a few things. Maybe we get some art. Maybe we try to ride some of these latter waves of things that we missed. But we love to dig through it and add a few things to our order. Our good friend Eric at Cowabunga likes to curate an awesome list of all the things available for FOC. We get him our DC selections by 6 o'clock on Sunday and all our other selections by 6 o'clock on Monday to make sure these things are in our pull list and we do not miss them. He features a few little things. Some of the things he's pulling to the top this week are Batman Annual #5. We got a Derek Chew cover A. Very cool looking book there. Jenny Heck Special #1 from DC. So I did not realize she was getting her own book. Must have missed that one. Another one he's pulling out is Ice Cream Man 22. Very cool Christmas issue.
Advent
Cover on
calendar.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Advent calendar. In only the way that the Ice Cream Man can do an Advent calendar.
Yep.
Spawn 313, the 1 in 5 McFarlane Black and White. Really cool cover there. Picture of Everything Else from Vault Comics. He's got the cover C, the Adam Gorham cover. And he's got another Marvel book in the last fight, Cinderella Bloody Christmas Annual 2020.
That's a Marvel
Cover
book?
C. He says it's a Marvel book.
I
don't
think
think
it's
it is.
wrong. I don't think that's right.
Looks like a Zenoscope.
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, it's
But let's not take his word for it. Let's dig through and see what we can find in the FOC.
I'll pull that sucker up here real quick. It is a Zenoscope book. Good call, brother.
Yep. And if you're interested in this Jenny Hicks special #1, we have a new villain in her alert. 3-Eyed Jack will be in this one. So just FYI, there's a 1 in 25 variant available for these as well.
Generation Shattered. What we got going on there?
Generation Shattered looks to be a threat of cosmic proportions to DC's newest and oldest universe compels one of the most unusual groups of heroes ever assembled to take one of the most mysterious foes they've ever encountered. What started in Detective 1027 explodes out of Dark Knight's death metal to tell the story of the generations spanning the history of the DC universe. Join the original Batman, Kamandi, Starfire, Sinestro, Booster Gold, Dr. Light, Steel, and Sinestro in their quest to save the universe before time.
Sinestro twice.
Yes.
What is this is okay, so this is not the future state. This is some other little mini thing that's popping out of metal.
From the pages of Dark Knight's death metal.
What didn't future state pop out of death metal? Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
But this is also coming from Detective Comics 1027 as well.
Gotcha. Which was a cool book. It's a long book.
There you go. Dope.
So is that Jenny Hex? Is she gonna? She had some interest when she was in, what is that, Young Justice relaunch?
Yeah, exactly.
And we've got a 1 in 25 that I don't know if that pricing is right. I'll have to check with Eric on that.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
But that's pretty sweet cover of her. Do we expect a breakout?
No, we don't have her first appearance, but you will a lot of times see new female, easy to grab onto characters be something. So it might be worth grabbing at least one, even though it's not her first appearance. It is her first solo appearance.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, is there going to be interest in her book like there was for, a Shuri or a...
Yeah, Kamala Khan. And
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yep. Really light week for DC, right?
Mm-hmm. As far as FOC is concerned, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this is kind of the cleanup FOC before we get to the new future state stuff, if I remember correctly.
Oh, gotcha.
So. Not a whole lot from Dark Horse either. It also is the Thanksgiving week, so everybody might have just phoned it in.
It's possible. Yeah. Maybe next week will be a lot better.
There you go.
Now, what's this Star Wars Adventures Smuggler's Run, a 2-issue miniseries? Greg Ruck is writing it.
Yeah.
After the Battle of
Where are you at?
I'm in IDW.
You have gone past all these spawns we don't want to talk about.
No, Dark Horse, then IDW, before
there's
Image.
Dark Horse. Where's
Yeah.
that?
So it's Star Wars Adventures Smuggler's Run, IDW. Greg Rucka.
Oh, sorry, I missed the 3 IDW books.
After the Battle of Yavin, Han Solo and Chewbacca intend to use their reward to settle their debts, but Princess Leia asks them to accept a secret mission for the Resistance. That sounds very familiar. Mortal
Yeah.
dangers, traitorous enemies, and thorny situation mark the path of these two heroes of the Star Wars saga. Is that already been a comic?
I'm sure it has.
I think I know that story.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah,
Yeah, because if they just paid off their debt, we wouldn't we wouldn't have half of what happens in Empire. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, it's true. That's all I had in IDW.
But yeah, a neat little book. Now we're in Image, where we still have Outcast hanging on with its July solicit. Issue 47, The Merged Part 5. So
Not to be outdone by Redneck's June edition for issue
Yeah.
29. Donny Cates is busy with his Venom verse.
There you go. So we have So we have Spawn. We have a cover A. We have a B. We have a C. We have a 1 and 5, and then you can get a cover set with all 4 versions for $13 from our friends at Cowabunga.
Yep.
And the 1 and 5 is a sketch.
Of the cover B, right? No.
Cover B.
No, it's
oh,
not.
Look at that cover A. Holy crap!
No, it's not. I thought it was the McFarlane cover B, but it's not. Who's Barons?
Cover the C.
Okay, so it's taken cover C, which is a Capullo McFarlane cover.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at the cover A, which is Barons. Bjorn Barons. Oh my goodness.
That's nightmare fuel right there.
Wow. This is tempting, right?
Yeah.
For the 4-pack? 5-pack?
It just kind of takes the guessing out of it. You're like, just give me all.
Yeah. $13 though. Worth it? For 5
Yeah.
comics?
Yeah, usually.
It's just like basically paying cover price for each
Yeah.
one. And it's at $3 a piece. With the third scumbag with a A and a B and a 10 copy incentive. I like Ice Cream Man does the advent calendar for cover A, and for cover B it's just some ice cream.
Just ice cream.
Just a little ice cream. Or is it? I'm sure there's something under the surface there.
Yeah.
Grendel, Kentucky finishes up with from the AWA Studios, unless you had something else in Image.
Nope.
And then we've got Firefly, another Firefly from Boom.
Who's writing this one now?
Greg Pak, your boy.
Greg Pak writing. It's the end of the first ever Firefly event, and now everything changes. Shocking losses lead to stunning decisions as Mao and the crew of the Serenity must face the consequences of their choices in wars against the Blue Sun Corporation. The verse is changing in ways no one ever expected, and a new chapter of Firefly begins here. Might have to jump in again.
Yeah. And I like the cover A of Picture of Everything Else from Vault.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
Something is killing killing children. The 25 copy incentive will blow up yet again. I can pretty much guarantee that. It's a nice looking cover.
Oh, it is nice.
Yeah.
That's our girl too. Interesting.
Yep. We got some Vault Comics things, including Picture of Everything, number 1. Our boy Gorham's doing all kinds of stuff. There he is on the sea. There.
Yeah. Busy guy. Yeah, and I'm not seeing anything else.
Nope, nothing else. Just a few neat things you might want to snag up, make that Spawn decision, and move on with your life.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. And then probably, if you want anything from Generation or grab yourself a Jenny Hex and grab yourself the Spawn quadruple.
Yeah, might be a good idea. Now, our good friends over at Cover Price have compiled the top 20 top selling books on eBay. You taking the top 10 or the bottom 10?
I'll start us off. First one we're going to talk about is Marvel Spotlight on Captain Universe number 9. Talked about this earlier. Symbiote Spider-Man just brought back a classic Marvel villain from the past, Mr. E. So, of course, 50 copies moved.
Pretty good.
High sale of $100 for that 9.6, and Raw is around $60. We also already talked about A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, the Nico Walter variant. $30 for Rawls on that one, so that is pretty cool. And still moving 44 copies. At rank 3, we have the Wonder Woman Annual number 4. There is speculation that the kids at the end of this issue could be the first appearance of several of the future state characters, including Yara Flor, aka the Brazilian future states version of Wonder Woman. 80 copies of this book moved. 80
Jesus.
copies, $35 for a Raw. Last Ronin number 1 continues to move, is not slowing down at all. 93 copies, and you're getting $65.79 for high grade Rawls, though most are selling for $30. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night number 1, the standard version, which is based on a film that's already out, $35 for high Rawls, most are selling for $15. Our boy Dark Hawk number 1 here continuing to move, 46 copies, $350 for a 9.8. Spawn number 9, we talked about this a little bit last week at rank 7, a holdover from last week. There's been a recent boost in sales and price for this first appearance of Angela after a contentious lawsuit over the rights of the character. Creator Neil Gaiman won and took her to Marvel, where she is introduced as Thor's sister in Age of Ultron 10. There are faint rumors about her possibly showing up in Thor Love and Thunder, or maybe even Guardians of the Galaxy 3. 39 copies moving, CGC 9.8 for 140. Amazing Spider-Man 53, the Sang 1 in 10 variant. Simply a power of having a great Miles Morales cover, which I think we called out and talked about at the time.
Yeah.
46 copies moving. $26 for I'm assuming a Raw, not a CGC. Star Wars Annual 2020. The Brookshire 1 in 10 variant. Star Wars fans were all over this variant featuring IG-88. And before you go thinking this is the same character from The Mandalorian, it's not. We already were scolded and informed that was IG-11. I actually told people that last week.
Yes, and that sounds like something I would do.
The more you know, 15 copies moved, $85 for a Near Mint Plus Raw. And at rank 10, the Recount number 1, Scouts book from this year. $19.10 for a Raw copy, and keep an eye on the 1 in 10 variant, which is already creeping up towards $100.
Crazy. That is crazy. Predator number 1 from 1989, Dark Horse, comes in at rank 11. 20th Century Studios has engaged 10 Cloverfield Lane director Dan Trachtenberg to direct the 5th installment in the Predator series. And the script is being written by Patrick Eisen, whose producer credits include the series Kingdom, Jack Ryan, and Treadstone, one of which I've heard of. This pushed the first appearance to a big high of $775 for a CGC 9.8, and it sold 20 copies this week. So Predator number 1 from 1989. I'm sure I've seen this a million times, and just never thought that it would be long-term value. Sleepwalker 1A.
Remember I told you this when I told you Dark Hawk blew up. This was the other one that everybody was dinking around about.
Yeah.
And this is the other.
It's a Marvel book. They say it's from 1911, but I'm sure that's wrong. I'm sure it's a little more recent than that.
It's a 91 book.
The 1991 book. So it's hot. It sold 41 copies and had selling over $100 for a CGC 98. Way to go, Sleepwalker.
But that's without anything being announced for it. That's just based on the fact that when Darkhawk popped, everybody's like, "Well, Sleepwalker's the next one."
That's just fueled by people making jokes
Correct.
alone.
Correct.
That I don't understand. So that has
because we always, in all these little forums, it was like whenever somebody would say, "Well, I got $100. What should I invest in?" Someone would always throw out Darkhawk and Sleepwalker as the jokes because those were the things. And then when Darkhawk caught and actually had some movement, people were like, "Well, crap! I better buy Sleepwalker."
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. Okay, the fifth print of Strange Academy #1, fifth print, sold 26 copies and $17 for a raw. And I mean, I said it's time to stop on the Strange Academy train, and I was wrong. Star Wars Darth Vader
got off one
6.
station too early.
Yep. The second print of Star Wars Darth Vader #6, Ochi Sith Assassin's first appearance is in the first issue. This marks his first cover appearance. I believe you said this was going to be crazy, and it has been crazy. Kind of. It's $15 for a raw, so that's pretty good. Amazing Spidey 257. Ned Leeds as Hobgoblin, and so that's pushed it to sell 21 copies. Sold $120 for a CGC 98. Our boy Brian Wood, DMZ's #1 from 2005, a Vertigo book. This is an Ava DuVernay led movie, so that should be pretty cool. Bringing that to HBO Max. Sold 15 copies and had a high sale of $100 for a CGC 96. My Beloved Moon Knight #1 from 1980. Continues to sell well. 30 copies of this one sold and had a high sale of $343 for a CGC 98. The new Teen Titans Annual #2 from 1983. This is the Peacemaker thing, or Vigilante. Vigilante's first appearance in this. And also drove up prices for the new Teen Titans #23 as well. This annual sold 18 copies and with a high sale of $177 for a CGC 98. Turtles, The Last Ronin, the 1 in 10, still selling well. It sold 22 copies and had a high sale of $110 for a CGC 98. And Miles' first appearance in Ultimate Fallout. 25 of them changed hands yet again, and a high sale of $931.
Ooh, it's under $1,000. Better get it.
Yeah, it's dropped for a CGC 98. So it continues to swirl around and change hands. And Miles still strong. I'm surprised it didn't go up, right?
Yeah.
I guess. So that's interesting. And I think that kicks us to our sneak peek at next week's segment.
Yeah, now that stuff's out of the way, let's see what we got coming out here next week. Let's start with our friends at DC. For those kind of items, we're going to go to ucscomicsdistributors.com/new releases and see what's coming out on December the 1st. We have Batman 104 coming out.
People are love it or hate it. It's a Batman Catwoman #1 of 12, the Tom King Clay Mann book. It's got some cool covers, a little murky, but this is a continuation of Tom King's Batman run. Basically, this is the last 12 issues that he didn't get to do on his run in Batman. So, if you were a fan, you're going to be interested in this. If you hated Tom King's run, you'll probably stay clear.
There you go. And we got 4 covers, one of them being the blank variant.
That's not blank. The what you like. Yeah, the blanks that you like, the ones that aren't really
the colored blanks.
Yeah. Well, this one looks like it has something in the background.
It's just kind of paper mache looking.
Oh, okay.
I do love this cover B of Batman Adventures. Continue #7. Just kind of some of the Bat family inside the cape. I think it's a really striking and nice cover. like that. Same thing with Deceased Dead Planet, the Matina cardstock variant. Looks like Dr. Fate pulling the helmet off of his crazed, zombified face or whatnot under it.
That's
really cool.
That's pretty amazing. Who is that? That's just Matina doing that? Oh, that's nice. And what's the homage, the movie homage in the cover B? Can you tell?
Yep.
What is it?
Shazam.
Is that what the movie looked like?
Yeah.
The movie
that's
poster
the
look?
movie poster for Shazam looked like. Pretty cool. Good old Tom Taylor.
He's the greatest. Justice League Endless Winter #1. This is Andy Lanning and Ron Mars, and doing the writing with Howard Porter and Marco Santucci on art. Interesting. It's just a 2-issue miniseries. It's a crossover event that is about a global level storm at the Fortress of Solitude. And this is, let's see, we've got Swamp Thing, Queen Hippolyta, Viking Prince, Black Adam. Interesting.
Yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson on the B cover is a pretty cool little action-packed cover. I like that.
Yes, he does good work. We are finally getting our last issue of Metal Men, number 12, the last Dan Didio, the last appearance of Dan Didio at DC, doing the writing on this. So, now he'll ride off into the sunset and may never, ever write for DC again, I would guess. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. So see how this book ends up and finishes. Nice that they allowed Dan to finish his book. And I hope...
Better when he walked out, he just left the scripts on accident.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe. Yeah, that's possible. Maybe it was already in the can.
Yeah.
What was the... I don't know the order code on this, but I wonder when this was supposed to be done.
Yeah. It's definitely delayed, let's just say.
Yeah.
And that's all of our DC items. And now the items coming out on the 2nd of December. Let's head on over to previewsworld.com and find those December 2nd items. Let's start with some image books. Walking Dead 4. Of course, the cover B being the OG cover. My brother will tell you that this has been redrawn, and I will tell you he's a liar.
What? What is it? Which one?
Cover B.
Oh. I don't know. I'd have to look. You might be right.
Yeah. Down in... Or, I'm sorry, you got anything else in image?
I'm really loving this firepower. That I think Kirkman's got a good formula again. It's really, really fun. Good characters. This is the last of the story arc, so there'll be a nice big juicy trade. And yeah, it's well worth reading.
Very nice.
And I love that Texas Blood as well. That's great. And it's ending its story arc with issue 6. And I love Dead Body Road, Bad Blood, which is ending its series with issue 6. So a lot of books finishing up their trade arcs or finishing up their series entirely, and they're all those are good.
Very cool. Down into Dark Horse, I want to talk about Overwatch Tracer, London Calling #1. Tracer's time as an Overwatch agent is up. Tracer is by far one of the more popular characters from Overwatch the game, so I would probably just buy these 5.
Who is it?
Tracer is a character from the game Overwatch, which is a hero shooter from the Blizzard company.
But it's old, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about a 3 or 4 year old game, but it was just released for the most part as a multiplayer game where you didn't really get a whole lot of story about your characters because they didn't really have a single player faction.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of things spun out of that. So there were a lot of people for the longest time clamoring over Tracer and what more she had to offer. And I'm not sure if this is kind of one of the first things we're getting from that, or if we've already filled in some of that. Because there's been talks of doing some additional single-player campaign stuff for some of those characters from Overwatch. But like I said, Tracer being the most popular character, it might be worth jumping into that little 5-issue series.
Wow, that's cool. You've been pretty spot on with video game tie-ins.
Yeah.
So I will trust you on that.
I'm just going to look at this Octopath Traveler Complete Guide hardcover because I love that.
What is that?
That is it's a game that came out for the Switch, almost a launch game for it, and it's kind of harkened back to the turn-based Final Fantasy RPGs of old. Really, really fun game. Very job-centric one. Oh yeah, Babs Tarr's on the cover B for that Overwatch Tracer too, by the way, and she fits perfectly with that.
Oh wow! Well, they want $40 for a strategy guide for Octopath.
Well, yeah, it's essentially just an art book.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm dating myself with strategy guides. So I don't know if they do those anymore.
No. I mean, it does. It has the maps and all. It is a guidebook, but I think most people purchase those kind of things also for just as art books as well.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Your Stranger Things cover C is your guidebook.
Oh yeah, that's just a cover of a module, I'm guessing.
Yep.
But I don't know which one.
Yeah.
They all look very familiar, but I wasn't nerdy enough to remember.
Liar. My Little Pony Transformers #1 going to a second print, but it looks like it's the same cover.
Jesus. What have we become?
Down into Marvel. Did you do these Marvel snapshots?
Yeah, I like all of them so far. They've all been really good.
We have Saladin Ahmed writing Civil War Marvel snapshots #1. So
Yeah, it might be good. Every one that I've read have been good. I don't know if I've read them all, but the ones that I've read, I really liked. Good. Daredevil 25 is a good jumping on point. It's a new story arc start. I had fallen off of this, so I'm going to check back in and see what Chip's got to say. Other arc just kind of went on a little too long for me, so I bounced.
King in Black, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7 or 8 covers of this.
Yeah, and including a Momoko.
Yep.
If you still think she has power.
There are small cases, but for the most part, we have caught back up. We have caught up to her.
That Miles Morales Schumacher variant. Is that one going to be hot? Because he's featured prominently.
Yeah, I mean,
do we have to worry about that?
I don't know that we have to worry about it, but I'm sure it will be. There'll be movement on it.
Yeah. And MODOK gets his own series, 4-issue mini-series, MODOK Head Games. Patton Oswalt doing a little writing on this. He's pretty funny. And it's going to be an animated...
They are showrunners of the upcoming animated MODOK show.
Yeah.
Coming to Hulu.
So I don't know if this will be a tie-in or basically a shot-by-shot.
Probably just a dry run of
Yeah.
them working on the character's voice and stuff. Down into the Dynamites that we tend to not find much.
What was the Union? I forgot again.
Oh yeah, the Union was the grand unveiling of the Union, a team of superheroes from the United Kingdom.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Union Jack, Snakes, Kelpie, Choir, and their fearless leader, Britannia.
I like my superheroes, Merkin.
Merkin. These people got the wrong flag on them.
Mm-hmm. A third print for I jumped all the way down to Boom, by the way.
Yeah, the only thing I stopped about in the other one was Peach Momoko has a Vampirella 15 that's really good.
Oh, nice. But Dune House Atreides got a third printing for its first issue.
Ooh, is that the worm on the cover?
I thought that was kind
It
of
might be worth snagging.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, when I think Dune, I think these sandworms. I do. Weird.
Yeah, you're right.
Mighty Morphin going to a second print. That is a second print that might be worth grabbing.
Yeah.
Dan Mora doing that character stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna say grab that if you know anything or like anything about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Is that oh man, I'm forgetting all my Power Ranger stuff. What's the flying head?
Oh man, you were asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, I'm the wrong age for Power Rangers, unfortunately. Zerg or Zed, I don't know. Never mind. Moving on.
Have we done small publishers yet?
Yes, sir.
We've got Erratic #1, and Erratic #1 is an artist, writers, and artisan upshot book. Kari Andrews doing writing and art chores. We talked about this a little bit during FOC.
Yeah.
It's a 15-year-old kid that can use his powers for 10 minutes at a time. That's kind of the conceit. We know AWA's had a really good track record. Will it continue here? I'm not thrilled with the concept, but they have curated some really good books.
There you go.
We also have Knock 'Em Dead from Aftershock. This is the Elliot Ray Hall book. And it's
another book.
Looks like Dying is Easy a little bit.
Yep.
And we'll see if it's more supernatural. So we'll see how it ties comedy and supernatural junk together. That's my blurb for it. Look, let's just take a look, see how
see if it ties the junk together.
See if it ties this junk together. Because Seeds of Spring. I love that it's listed. This is from Microcosm Publishing. I love that it's listed as a 15-issue miniseries.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. I mean, 1 of 15. Come on, that'd be like the longest running series in the history of the Microcosm Publishing.
There's nothing micro.
It has nothing micro about a 15-issue miniseries.
Yeah.
I guess it's okay. But I don't understand it.
We wish you all the luck in the world.
Yeah, good luck to you with that.
Yeah. All right, dude, this is the podcast where I ask for your pick of the week. What's the one thing to make you go into your local comic book shops, grab them off the shelf, and say, I gotta have this because it's going to be the next big thing?
I am a Tom King apologist, and so I am a big fan. I'm looking forward to see what he has to say about Batman on his last run. I think he's going to put something cool in this first issue that makes it collectible. He did that with Batman. So Batman, Catwoman, #1. I'm going to go with the cover A Clayman cover. Even though there's
touching that series with a 10-foot pole, nor do I care about reading it.
I know there's a whole faction of folks like that. So, but I'm going to jump in.
But it may be much smaller print run because of that, and you may have some gold there.
We'll see.
Yep. And I like Erratic #1 from artists, writers, and artisans. This is kind of the first time they've gone much in the way of superhero-ish.
Yeah.
Normally they've got other things, be it post-apocalyptic or thriller.
You going with the cover B?
I love that A, actually. That Coriander.
You love the A. Okay.
Normally I like their A's. All their A's for the zombie stuff was really good too, so.
Yeah.
But we thank you for tagging along with Drew and myself through our sneak peek at next week. If you found something in here that we didn't talk about, make sure you send us some information on the Twitters, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the TikToks, and all that fun stuff, the Gmails. So Drew can ignore your emails and not have any listener feedback yet again.
I think that there was something about thankfulness and thanking and comics blessings and all that, and I just didn't have time to put anything together. It came in too late, and I'd forgotten that it was Thanksgiving episode. So yeah, I blew it.
I'm completely kidding. But be part of the podcast. If you agree and you picked up some of these books and you made some money, let us know as well. Honestly, drop us a line. Feel free to be part of the podcast. We'd love to hear from you. We thank you so much. So for Drew and for myself, see ya.